Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS Winter Americas. We're moving into the lower bracket match where two players are duking it out to see who is going to get eliminated here in the round of 16. My name is Fear Dragon. I'm joined by Nathanius as we move into another Protoss versus Terran.
Love me some TVP. I am feeling refreshed, Fear Dragon. I am ready to rock and roll. And, loving that TVP. These games have been flying by, but
yeah,
Epic and MCanning looking good. So tell them that we can go whenever we want to.
I mean, we did just see Epic play a Protoss versus Terran.
Oh,
the unfortunate side of it was that Puck was going for that kind of War Prism, Archon drop, and just catching Epic both games.
Too.
Yeah, kind of catching Epic both games right as he was doing the move out, and then the Stalkers would blink in, and there was just causing this weirdness. He did a great job with the control, but we ended up seeing Epic not quite able to make the attack that he wanted to have happen. The typical Marine tank push actually happened as he wanted. Now the funny thing is that's a Puck special. I don't think we're going to be seeing that necessarily out of MCanning here.
Okay. No, you're right. Puck definitely plays his own kind of special variety of Protoss, but this guy still also mixes it up. I mean, hey, when in Americas. In the top left, we have the blue Protoss player. He is MCanning.
And down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the red Terran player. His name is Epic from Psystorm Gaming.
Did your high school go through the scourge of people saying Epic too much about everything?
No, I didn't really have that problem.
Okay.
But you were a different generation than me.
I don't always feel like that, Fear Dragon. I feel like we're kindred spirits sometimes.
We are. But you were still a lot younger than me.
The era of...
Actually, no, you're only 3 or 4 years younger?
Calling you so random. I turn 26 in 9 days.
Okay, yeah, then you're only about 2.5 years younger than me.
There you go.
That's not that bad. You were in high school at the same time as me then.
Yeah. Have you ever had a Wonder Ball?
I do wonder sometimes what's in a Wonder Ball.
Okay. Yeah,
who knows what's...
You're not too
Ooh, we got a little spray meta going down. We got the GLHF. Yep, the GLHF I believe is MCanning's and Epic with a GG. Is this a defensive GG or an offensive GG? Because it's at his own base.
I don't know. That just brings me back to the Scarlet series again. That new Repugnancy game.
Yeah.
The Nidus was like on the GG. It was beautiful. Or the GG was right next to
the reactor and the tech lab are going to actually block off his own GG. So really, MCanning positioned his spray perfectly.
Self BM.
Yeah, just he's covering up his own GG. He's like, actually, now that you're gone, I know this isn't going to be a good game. I'm going to destroy you.
What's going to happen? The final moments of this game as MCanning pushes in, right as he's about to kill Epic, the last thing he'll blow up is the reactor, and then we'll see the GG zoom in on it, and it'll be... And then I'll give a deep guttural GG scream. I'll throw it in there. If the final building that dies before this game is over is that reactor revealing a GG, I will scream that GG.
I am looking forward to it. I am so excited for that. Epic, by the way, is going to go for a pretty similar looking opening as he did in the last series, where he gets up that Hellion as a follow-up. He's going to be able to clean up or push back any early Adept pressure, as there is that first Adept making its way across the map. But the Reaper pops in as actually jukes the Stalker, gets a scout in the main, sees the Robo. Maybe? Is going to see the Robo. There it is. And
good scout to get, by the way.
Should certainly die right there, as there's not really a lot of escape pathways that way.
Could do Fast Liberator. I love the Fast Liberator off the starport when you know your opponent's going Robo. It's hard to do anything with the Banshee there. Raven is fine too, by the way, because you can go for the tech lab on the factory, the phylactery, and get a Cyclone. Cyclone Raven is really good at smiting observers. Also, MCanning with the Robo Bay. You know he's going to go for like a Disruptor or Colossus drop.
Yep.
And Raven shuts that down mighty fine.
The Interference Matrix just completely preventing the War Prism from doing the pick up. I think actually, is it ideal that you just do the Interference Matrix right after the Disruptor has been dropped out, so you allow maybe some of your stuff to get killed, but then you prevent the Disruptor from escaping?
Yeah, it depends on what you've got, I guess, on the ground. Like, if you had a Cyclone that locked onto the Disruptor and you were able to block the Warp Prism from picking it up, the Cyclone does, without mag field, does 400 damage over 14 seconds. So I think you'd do enough damage to kill the Disruptor.
Oh, no. Okay, there he starts. I was really afraid there. He loses half of his Chrono Boost before actually starting off that Colossus. So a bit annoying.
Yeah, that's not good. You usually don't want to throw away your Chrono Boosts. It does happen from time to time. Nothing is more sad than when you're tunnel visioning. This actually happens to me all the time whenever I play Protoss. And maybe some people that are tuning in, you can share your pain with me, is when you're like waiting on that Robo to finish. In the final moment, you're like, bam! Chrono! Z for... I have Z for Immortal, because I don't like that it's on the right side of the keyboard. And then it's like, boom! Supply block. I'm like, no! You start your pylon, it's like, your pylon will conveniently take about as long as this Chrono Boost will sit here. I'm like, no!
I know that feeling with Colossus. Colossus take up so much supply. Definitely happens sometimes. Epic so far, though, he's got that Raven, like you said. It's still going to be useful even if he's not facing off versus something like Colossus drop. This is just going to be the pretty quick to get 2 or 3 Colossus up, get up a very small number of gateway units, and make the defense on those 3 bases. And the Raven's still very good for these kind of builds because you can disable the interference matrix on those Colossus, will shut them down, take them out of the fight. Once you take those out, MCanning's really not going to have a lot.
That was actually a huge part of the TVP grind fest that we had yesterday, Fear Dragon, was a failure to use the interference matrix on two Colossi.
That was because of a feedback there, right?
Yeah, but it was also because of, you know, it's like in bad grammar when people talk about like dangling modifiers and participles and all that. You can't just dangle your Raven out in front of your army. Like, yeah, man, try to snipe the Raven, totally will interference matrix. And it's like, no, I have actually feedback. I don't need to dive in on this. You gotta remember that, even though it's weird because I've been trying to train myself to be more okay with being a little bit bolder in front of High Templar because the feedback damage nerf. But then at the same time, once you
still lose the energy on everything. Yeah,
but you're used to whatever getting feedback dying though. You're used to a feedback unit just popping, like bursting like a bubble in the air.
All right, MCanning did see where the army was positioned, saw that the 3rd base was being established there. He saw the command center, but just knowing where the army is does kind of allow him to move his army to a better location to defend his 3rd. Because sometimes the push will come in at the natural. If you're out of position with those Colossus, it can be so difficult to deal with. He's actually going to try and meet this push in the middle. I like this. This is really smart.
If he can buy a little bit of time, especially if he can bait out the interference matrix and then be able to run away, that's huge. Keep in mind, there's a cheeky disruptor under that Colossus.
Oh, wow. I don't even see it.
Yeah. So
there's one over here.
Actually, you have to tear his chest open to get to it, but there's a disruptor in there.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if Epic actually sees that as he's going to react a little bit later on. The Widow Mines are all gone. The Siege Tank Siege up, getting some good pot shots off on those Stalkers. There's also a little bit of harassment on the other side of the map, killing off 3 workers, but so far MCanning is totally shutting down this push.
The MCanning.
Whoa!
He's like, you know what? I'll trade these 6 Adepts for half a tank's health.
I don't know if I agree with that one, but, you know.
Old Blink's almost done. Could try to do something bad.
Oh, he gets the Raven full energy! That is a juicy snipe off, and now the Colossus have very little to fear. The Siege Tanks are maybe the one thing he has to be a bit careful of. There's also a Dark Shrine finishing up.
Yeah, get charged.
Resonating Glaives.
What's it No! MCanning. I like everything about what he's doing, but if your opponent is building... Okay, he's going into mines, so I can almost kind of see it, but I still like having charge elements.
If you're going... So this is the fun thing that every Protoss player learned at the beginning of Legacy of the Void. If you're going for charge and you're making a lot of disruptors, Nate, you're in for a bad time.
Okay, that's fair. But he's...
This drop actually is getting a lot.
I don't know. I just don't understand him. You know what? I'm not capable. Basically, I heard the word of God, and I was too mortal a man to face what it was, and I'm just sitting here confused, Fear Dragon.
I think many people are, and we'll see.
Especially when they watch MCanning play.
I mean, the important thing is Epic going to be confused by this? As he's got
sure.
some Liberators coming out. Those are going to be helpful versus those Disruptors, but the DTs, I don't think he has any idea about those.
Nope. They are rolling their way along. So let's see what happens as the big fight goes down. Disruptor shot gets both tanks.
Ooh. I also want to note that a lot of his command centers do not have any energy. There's also a hidden base going down the bottom left. MCanning is playing this game out so well so far and getting Epic at every turn. Liberator siege up is going to get sniped off.
There we go. Mines are going to burrow. Pulls back. Okay, almost thought he was going to drag on that one Adept. And MCanning fighting for his life as he loses the Colossus.
Oh, gets almost all of the mines. There's one mine that goes off on the entire army here. That is nice, but now we're starting to see the DTs work their way out at those mules, also going into the main base, snapping off all of these SCVs, who's trying to protect the reactor.
Hack and slash Fear Dragon as the Dark Templar rips and tears through that main. I think there's another one in like the third now or something.
He has already worked his way through all the mules at the third base.
I love the Golden Age DT skin because it looks like Zeratul.
Yep, that's the reason to use them. Hey, look, they have a little sigil on their back. This answers our question about whether or not decals show up on Protoss units. It's on the cape.
I think it's only on the DT with this skin. I actually don't think I've ever seen
yeah.
Dark Templar before.
I don't think I have either. All right, MCanning's got the hidden fourth base in the bottom left. He can use DTs on the defensive if that does get scouted out, but now Epic is in a terrible economic spot. It wasn't just the workers, it was also all the mules that got sniped off, so Epic has to do something.
Well, think about it this way, Fear Dragon. You also don't want to scan or meal too much either because you might need scans to deal with the DTs.
Yeah, he's going to need scans to deal with the DTs. It's not even an if, as there are already a lot of DTs that were warped in for the harassment before. And MCanning maybe going to be ready to do it again.
I always like seeing a few DTs mixed into the army. It's one of those things that by the time you usually notice it, you're like, oh no, and then you try to scan it.
Ooh, looks like the Liberator getting a couple of the Stalker snipes off, but this is my favorite thing about just going for gradual DTs. The defensive DTs are so strong. If you force a Terran player to scan in order to actually put on harassment, you're saying, okay, you got to trade your economy to do damage to my economy.
Yeah. Can Fam looking good. And he's going to go back to the main again one more time for Epic. The Widow Mines are a good anchor point for this, but ooh, the Disruptor shot.
He's going to handle that. Disruptor does get sniped off. The DT does get scanned and cleaned up. A Colossus pops out. He's going to be able to snipe off the Widow Mine Stalker. He's going to be able to blink forward and snipe off both of the medevacs,
Stalkers. So what he did was he did save his third base because the Stalker ball was headed there. He was going to blow it up. So that was a good bit of dedicated pressure from Epic. But as a good Frenchman is muttering in his sleep right now. Actually, it's so early. He's having dinner. He's probably eating a croissant or something. He's just thinking in his mind. He's like, look at this supply. I feel like he's saying it for some reason. I'm not sure.
Yep. And a lot of that supply is in army with the disruptor balls making their way across the map. We had a single Colossus mixed back in, which may even throw Epic a bit further off, but disruptors making their shots. Gets a pretty decent one.
Oh. Okay.
This is just so tough.
Finally got some MCanning disruptor shots there. That is painful.
MCanning is playing like MCanning today, which is a real treat because that doesn't always happen in tournaments. Yeah, actually, I feel like very often it doesn't. Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little bit in your own head. You're like, well, my strategy is fun and I do it on stream, but it's not actually good. Now MCanning's he's sticking to his guns.
Liberator's getting sniped off one by one. There's nowhere to run anymore versus these disruptor shots. A last Liberator gets sniped off. Another one pops out, but not even going to get a chance to siege up. MCanning.
Can the Colossus please stop shooting the command center? I'm bothered by it.
No. He has to kill all the other... Nate, he has to kill all the other buildings before he kills off that reactor, remember.
That's true. Oh,
there's the G.
Single G.
MCanning taking the first game.
Well,
McCann fam is celebrating now.
When you give 1 G to a Protoss player, you know what's going through their head. It's got to be someone's shaking the pinball machine, Fear Dragon. Does no pinball players in the chat? No.
No, I'm missing the reference.
Yeah.
Trying really hard, really racking my brain.
It makes a loud noise so that they know that you're messing with it, and it says tilt, the tilt bar type thingy.
Who messes with a pinball machine?
Also, on the classic Windows Space
That's
pinball
actually cheating.
that came on Windows XP. That's right. There's actually a command. There's a button you can press that'll shake that too. You can and you'll still get a tilt warning, by the way. Eventually, it locks you from being able to do
Why
anything.
would there be a button in an electronic thing to cheat?
Because it's a part of the experience sometimes.
I got really angry as I shook my
ammo.
pinball machine and then caused everything to go wrong.
Like infinite ammo weapon unlocks and playing as a giant block of tofu, Fear Dragon. Sometimes that's just what you need to have.
If one of your units in a future war chest had to be a block of tofu, what would it be?
Whichever one was melee. So.
Why?
Because it just feels right.
I would have said the Cyclone. I would buy a Cyclone tofu block.
They already kind of look like blocks, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. They're already ready.
You know,
they also soften up the hit points, so it feels a little closer.
You've convinced me.
All right, guys. Future war chests.
That's just
soon
only
TM.
because the Cyclone is already just a giant cube, basically.
Box Wars.
Yeah.
We're going into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. It is again going to be that elimination match with Epicson down 0-1. That does mean if he loses one more game, he is out of WCS Winter.
He's out of here. Yeah.
Kings Cove is going to be the map, and we are starting up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, top of the blue Protoss player. He once taught NEEB how to use a disruptor. Can he do it himself again? It's MCanning.
A disruptor and a dream. He faces off against the Red Terran player in the southeast, down 0-1. Can he claw his way out from underneath? He's epic.
What's your favorite MCanning story?
My favorite MCanning story?
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
All of them.
When MCanning crossed the Delaware on Christmas Eve.
That was a good
The
one.
British. That was pretty big, you know. That was actually one of the more influential battles.
That was one of the most all-American things MCanning did.
MCanning gave that rallying inspirational speech at Gettysburg. MCanning, goodness gracious, when he actually with his bare hands ripped open the northwestern mountains so that those caravanners could make their way through the end of the Oregon Trail, and all those high school students and elementary kids that were playing it. It wouldn't have been possible if MCanning hadn't moved mountains for the world. And I heard MCanning was actually, for the first time in his life, felt pain. And all this rain in Los Angeles that we never get, they're actually just his tears.
That does explain quite a bit.
Yeah.
As, you know, actually, I bet if we checked outside after that first series versus NEEB, it'd be raining.
Yeah, and if he wins, we'll finally get the sun back. And then, yeah, there'll be cans falling from the sky, actually, so it'd be
It'll be good, but it'll also be dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, we do have pretty normal looking builds from both sides. We saw MCanning going for a nice early probe scout, doing some harassment to the building SCV. We'll see if he sends out that first adept and tries to get snipe off, because he did get that one hit off that he needs to kill off that SCV.
Yeah. Made things a little bit easier for the adept.
Yep.
Fear Dragon, I'm going to hit you with a bit of trivia. What other worker skin has a different mining animation?
Ooh, I think the Protoss, there's a Protoss one that has a different color mining animation, right?
Actually, I think it's just
this one. It's this one.
I think it's just this one. I meant what other one, because I was talking about MCanning.
What other one?
Yeah. That's the cool thing. I was looking at the worker skins because this is what I do in my spare time, because I want to keep that title of the skin
ambassador.
Reaper comes in, doesn't see the robo that gets plopped down, but yeah, the probe is actually the only probe. This probe skin is the only one that also has the shadow under it. If you zoom in onto it,
ooh,
it has a little orange glow below it.
Yeah.
Probe. None of the other probes have that. In fact, I don't think there's any type of glow like that for any other worker skin, for Terran or Zerg. So there you go.
That is really cool.
Now you know. The flashiest probe is the Purifier one. That's probably why MCanning uses it.
Definitely makes sense. Fits the mood.
He's ahead of. He's just, you know, he's 10 steps ahead of all of us.
Epic's really good at getting this Reaper back in. Keeps giving
This map's
juke
pretty
around.
good for getting the Reaper back in.
It is, but even on the last map, I think he did a great job. Kind of juking and jiving the first stalker.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He did. It's hard to secure that scout because he got back in, but he didn't see the robo this game. And if he watched the last series, and I would hope that you watch your potential opponents, even if
Epic is definitely watching.
Even if it's not versus a Terran. If you're watching MCanning's PvP versus NEEB, I think you're like, wow, MCanning's in a proxy mood, isn't he? Huh? He proxied both games. Proxied Robotics Bay, proxied Twilight. What if he proxies his tech against me? And then all of a sudden, gets inside of Epic's head because he didn't see the tech. He's like, well, yeah, it must just be in the corner of the map somewhere. And look at this Reaper going on a wild goose chase.
Yep. Just checking around, verifying that no shenanigans are happening, but it is still going to be that fast robotics bay. We're likely going to be seeing a pretty similar build here from MCanning. We'll see if he mixes it up, if he goes for a fast warp prism speed or something. No,
Stop
Reaper,
shooting the probe!
No! Epic, you were so close. It is going to be Colossus again.
That's really frustrating.
Yeah.
He had the perfect opportunity to see that it was a fast robo bay.
Cyclone also poked forward. I guess it just saw normal units, just 3 Stalkers, a Sentry, and an Adept. Nothing super weird about that one.
Nope. I like MCanning's build here, by the way. Guess who, do you remember who else has been doing this build? We saw a couple Protoss players break it out yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has been a build that's been around the meta for a little bit now.
Feels like we've got something other than just double forge. Although personally, I'm still like, I enjoy the double forge build more with the mass gateway, but enough Terran players have been up against it that they're like, okay, we need something that can deal with the SCV pull. Colossi were always good at that.
Yep.
I remember during the old era where it was the SCV pull to try and kill the Protoss with like the Viking, you know, all in on like Janssen and all that jazz that I joked about. Back then, if you got those Colossi and you could get like a good fight for the Protoss, it's like all those SCVs get kind of clumped-ish with the Marines, and then you have like, you somehow get to 2 or 3 Colossi and you just melt everything. Like they're all clumped up. It's, ooh, gave me shivers to watch it, but as a Protoss, I imagine, feels pretty awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
I never built Colossi as Protoss though.
You know, I don't either. It's one of those units that I think like kind of exists. You do need to do some good micro to get value from it, and to target like the big clump of units and stuff. That's not my jam. I'm about those DTs, man.
Yeah, my favorite build that I learned from someone else, because I lost to a guy who did this because I didn't realize what was happening, but he went that gate expand into double forge, and I was like, where's his tech? I don't know where his tech is, and then I scan him, and I'm like, oh my god, his 1-1 is done, and it's like 4 minutes into the game. And then he hits me with like the fastest 2-2 zealot attack I've ever seen in my life.
That's beautiful.
Honestly, it's really fun to play that stuff.
This attack is going to be interesting. There are slow warp-ins over here, but remember, this is only off of 3 gateways, now 4. The next 2 gateways are still finishing up, and we do have some skirmishes.
Medevac almost saw it.
Ooh, yeah, I think one of the Medevacs maybe took some damage there. Oh, this Medevac almost dying. 2 Widow Mines inside of it. I want to also note there was no Raven made this game. He went for the Viking instead, and then went into the reactor for the Medevacs. So he can't really disable the Colossus like we were talking about the last game.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to rely on this concave. Look at that. Immediately pulls the workers, too. Honestly, just keep baiting out the stims. Medevacs run out of energy, and then the Marines and Marauders can't be healed.
Scans forward, sees that the army is still there, but the Adepts are actually going to be shading their way into the natural expansion.
Oh, this is how you do it. Oh, baby.
Yep. Adepts actually getting some good damage done, already killing off 3 or 4 workers here, and also pulling Epic apart. And now suddenly the entire army went over to that direction to try and deal with things.
Okay. I don't know if he realized. His Adepts kind of passed weirdly because of it.
Oh, gets some medevac very quickly. Disruptor also in the mix.
Oh.
It gets a juicy MCanning shot off. The Colossus only have to worry about 2 Vikings.
Yeah, this is
That's it.
Yep, look at that. MCanning bringing himself out of the depths here in the lower match. Really good play. And I don't see how Epic recovers from this. This third orbital should be dead.
Yeah, he's going to be losing so much here, and we're just starting to see a rallying of units. There's still more Vikings that were being made to deal with Colossus, but all the Colossus have actually died now. Disruptor actually gets a landed Viking. That's not something that happens very often.
Your landed Vikings are really good against Stalkers. Do make sure you kill this third, by the way.
Landed Vikings not so great versus Disruptors if they don't lift in time.
Yeah. That's why Transformation Servos is my bay.
Yep. That command center is burning, by the way, so he doesn't need to eventually get some SCVs over there if he wants any chance of saving it.
If Epic's able to save this, that's like really the one thing that gives him an opportunity back in this game. But I don't
MCanning would still need to lose a lot of the rest of his army. He's still got a Disruptor. And MCanning with a Disruptor is possibly the scariest thing in the entire United States.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to mess with him. No, 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 no. Punk kids coming around, throwing toilet paper in his trees. He steps outside of the Disruptor on his porch. Oh, you better believe everybody's running home.
He gets a good Disruptor shot, but the Disruptor does get sniped off by those Liberators. Epic.
Center gonna survive? Oh my
120. He's still got plenty of time to repair it. He does need to repair it.
Yeah, I was just, you know, this was really big, actually.
No, SCV is coming. Thank you.
This was really big for MCanning. Being able to kill this command center, I think, is really, really necessary.
He did get a lot of workers up behind this. He got up a 4th base. He's got a Dark Shrine on the way, so MCanning still in a fantastic position. But this could have been a game-ending position, right?
Yeah.
If he had gotten the snipe off on that thing.
By all means, MCanning is like leaps and bounds ahead, but this is a map that is turtly enough that with the Liberator count, if it goes up enough, like, it's still NA versus NA, right?
Yeah.
Which means that if you want to make sure that an American Terran player is like dead, you got to kill that 3rd orbital command. Because let me tell you, we do not understand the meaning of tapping out of a game.
Nope. And MCanning, again, he is one of those guys that will hold that thought.
Look at this observer. Look at that ground observer. Sees everything.
Yep.
Oh my god, the Stalkers!
Oh! Gets a Liberator, doesn't get any of the medevacs, but forces an unload. And Epic, he has no choice. He has to commit to this. The Stalkers are not going to let him get
Kill
back.
the 3rd orbital and then warp in DTs to defend, and he doesn't have enough scans.
He just sends in the 3 Adepts and a DT.
Wow.
Guess what? The Orbitals have been
Oh my god.
consistently calling down mules.
When you got a mule, you got a mule.
Yep. And the rest of the army is engaging versus this skirmish in the center. There's no mining effectively happening anymore.
Right, Epic bought himself another 3 minutes of game time, but once these 2 medevacs die.
Yeah, this is an elimination match,
Look
so I
how
do
far
get
he
it.
goes.
Yep.
Bing, ba-bow,
Just getting a scout.
GG.
There it
Good
is.
luck. Epic's out. MCanning is in. It's 2019.
MCanning making his way to that decider match, as this was the lower bracket match.
Yup.
Unfortunate for Epic. I know he wasn't feeling well today, so it does kind of suck. The timing of that really didn't work out for him.
No, it did not.
But that's a part of life. Got to take care of yourself. Got to take care of your body.
And when you're playing someone with a
Literally-
perfect body like MCanning, it is hard to measure up.
The only kind of sick that MCanning has ever been is Sick City.
Hell yeah.
But of course, guys, that does lock us down for one of the players for the decider match. It's time to find out who the other player is going to be. Our winners match of NEEB versus Puck. Now, this is a fun one. These guys go way back in the days when Puck was still coming up. I feel like NEEB was also on the uprise. These guys had a nice rivalry. They're going to duke it out here in the winners match of Group C.
Can't wait.